Hello my lovelies, welcome back to another video. So today we are doing a little reading vlog. So this won't be just today, this will be within the span of like a few days. But I thought it'd be fun to include my TBR cart once more. Yeah, I'm literally in the same spot as the last video, but not for the entire video this time. I thought it would be fun if we included some TBR cards to help pick out my next read, because I'm stuck. I don't know what to read next, and I thought maybe these TBR cards would help, and I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. So let's have a look at these, shall we? Ooh. So these are my TBR cards. They have lots and lots of different prompts included, and then this is the back of them. Very pretty, and look at the cover. So pretty. So let's have a look, because I actually haven't used these yet. Okay, there's no instructions, so I mean, why would there be? You just kind of pick a card. So this is my TBR card, as you saw in the previous video. If you haven't checked that out, go and watch it. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Go watch that. So you know what's included in my TBR card, and you know a bit more behind the books that I'm going to read in this vlog. It will help, trust me. Right, let's give these a shuffle. Not gonna lie, I'm not very good at shuffling. We're just gonna get straight in there. I'm gonna pick 3 books off of my TBR cart, and I'm gonna hopefully read them within the span of this week. I am going to Amsterdam at the end of next weekend, so that'll be another vlog coming up after this video. So that'll be exciting. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and press the bell so you know when I'm going to post that, because it'll be brilliant. So we're going to randomly choose. I actually can't see. I'm going to do that. Let's randomly pick one. Oh my god, please don't fall. I'm not peeking, guys. I'm not peeking. I have just had to turn off the light because there was a glare and I couldn't deal with that. That was really bugging me. So I do apologise if it's a little bit too dark. I will try my best to edit it a bit better when I get round to it. But yeah, the glare was just bugging me. Anyway, back to the video. We have our first prompt. And what does it say? Ooh. Choose a book which has become a TV show or movie. I don't think any of these have yet. I've read 2 that have, but I don't think any of these are at the moment. Well, this is going great. Should we pick again? Let's pick again. Oh my gosh, they're literally falling out everywhere. Let's pick again. Okay, what does this one say? Choose a book which begins with a prologue. Oh, this could be so many though. Okay, let's go through, because I think almost all of these begin with a prologue. Okay, that doesn't. Okay, Divine Rivals does begin with a prologue. Interesting. Nope, Archer's Voice doesn't. Stolen Air, which is the second one in the Brutal Birthright series. Nope. Really, guys? No prologues? I thought every book almost had a prologue. This is trigger warnings. Does that count? Ah! Prologue! Nice. Okay, Lights Out. Nope. No prologue. Wow. I don't want to really get into any thrillers just yet, because I want to save them for like a spooky vlog in October. So let's try Belladonna, because that's not really... Yep, prologue. Ride with me. Prologue. Okay, so we have 4 here that have a prologue. I think what we should do is choose from those 4. Okay, so I've had a think, and out of these 4, I am really in the mood for another dark romance. So, any surprise there? I think I might go with Leather and Lark because that also has an audiobook on Spotify that I remember loving. The Butcher and Blackbird one, like the audiobook was dual cast and it was so good. It was so good. So I am in the mood for that. So I might have this as my first read, which is kind of sad because I really need to get to the other ones. But we have 2 more books to choose, and an audiobook would be perfect for me for the next week as I am a busy bee for once in my life. Okay, so our first pick is Leather and Lark. So I have 2 more. Okay, let's have a look. Shall we pick that one? What does it say? Choose a book which has 5 words in the title. I don't think I have any. I literally have none with 5 words in the title. We might have to pick again. Ooh, which one? These are so pretty. Let's go for this one. Oh my gosh, falling everywhere. Okay, not quite everywhere. It's a bit dramatic. Okay, what does this say? Choose a book whose author's surname begins with L. Okay, I have Sophie Lark, Mia Sheridan, Rebecca J. Jackson. Okay, I guess it's going to be a Sophie Lark, which is perfect because these are really short. Okay, that's great. 2 dark romances, I guess. I like a short book. That's perfect. Right, we have, is that one? Yes. Let's put that aside. We have 1 more to pick. I'm going to give these a shuffle. If this is another dark romance, I'm going to actually laugh. Okay, next pick. This is the last one. Which one's calling out? Let's say, I don't know, this one. Right, this is our next one. Choose a book which is pre-loved. Dude, I haven't got any on here that's pre-loved. Actually, no. That's a lie. That's a lie. My father wasn't a drunk.
That's a lie. My dad wasn't a drunk.
Sorry, Harry Potter nerd. Pre-loved could be someone who has already reread the book before. So I would say that one would be The Tenant by Freida McFadden because my aunt has read this book and gave it to me. So it was pre-loved. I did want to save this for a vlog in October, but I can always buy more books. So I'm not going to complain. And Freida McFadden is a fast and lovely read. So breaks up a bit from the dark romance. Our 3 books for this week is Leather and Lark, Stolen Heir, and The Tenant, which I think is pretty decent. I've got one with audiobook, and I've got a nice short one, and then I have one to break up the dark romance, and I love a good thriller. So I think that's a really good selection. It took us a while. I'm not gonna lie. They're very difficult TBR prompts. I think I need a bigger TBR, which could be my excuse to buy more. I think that's a really good excuse. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys are happy with that. I am. I think that's also really good because I'm also reading 2 more out of the series that helps keep the series down. So that's also really good. Let's get started with Leather and Lark as my first read. Hello, my lovelies. So I have finished Leather and Lark. I really enjoyed this. I actually listened to most of it on audiobook because I was really busy. and I don't regret that one bit at all. So I gave this book a 4-star. I was very surprised considering the first one. I think I gave a 3.5 or a 3. It was okay. Like, it was entertaining, but there were definitely parts that needed improvement or didn't quite hit properly. So I'm going to read my review to make it easier. And yeah, Leather and Lark is an enemies to lovers and a forced marriage trope. I found the beginning of the book to be slightly too fast paced for my liking. However, it did slow down not long after, and I was able to follow the plot better. So I'd say probably around like here, this was really fast paced. And I was like, okay, wow, if this is the way it's heading, like the last book, we're going to have problems. But it did slow down very quick after, which is very good. Unlike the first book, the characters had a lot more chemistry and we were able to follow their story in much greater depth. Both the characters felt well-rounded and carefully curated, along with the side characters that were mentioned throughout the plot. The main characters had more depth to them. We kind of saw a bit more of what became history, whereas the other one time skipped so often that there was no history. We didn't see it. We didn't gain that chemistry, and I felt that we really gained it in this one, and I loved that as we got to actually see them get closer and closer. And yeah, and also I loved the enemies bit to this. The enemies bit was actually very entertaining. This was action packed, which I loved. I love a good action packed book because you fly through it, keeps you entertained, keeps you engaged. Oh yeah, the audiobook had dual cast like the previous one, and boy oh boy do I recommend it. Oh my god, it's so good. And that is just like what makes it so much better, the book, because it's dual cast and it sounds amazing. It's not cringe, it's not corny, it's just right, you know, and it's, oh, I love it. It's so good. And I would definitely recommend it because it just takes your experience to a whole nother level when you listen to the audiobook, and it just gives that vibe. It just gives a good vibe. Overall, I enjoyed this a lot more than Butcher and Blackbird, which from the reviews, I've seen as quite an unpopular opinion. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was just getting into the vibe of the book, because like the humor, the banter, it's got it all. It's got it all. It's action packed. It's got enemies to lovers, forced marriage, all sorts. It's got it all. And I think I was just like getting used to that last time. So I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really great. So yeah, that is my first read of the readathon. Now we are moving on to Stolen Air, I believe. Okay, so yeah, now we're moving on to Stolen Air. This is going to be fun to read. This is going to be fun to read. I'm really looking forward to this. I like the first one. A lot of people don't really like this series, but I actually think I really like it. If the Mafia wasn't in it, then I might not enjoy it as much. But I really enjoy the Mafia in these books, so I'm very excited. So let's go and read Stolen Air, and yeah. Oh, it was a boy. I thought this was a girl. Good morning. We are back in the same spot because the lighting's the best. It is a really rainy day. You can't hear it, but it is raining quite hard outside and it's so cozy. Oh, there's a squirrel with a nut in his mouth. Bless him. So it's a very lovely day, perfect day to read, and I finished Stolen Air. I really enjoyed this. Let me get my review up again. I enjoyed this way more than the first one, and I was looking through the reviews. So many people didn't like it. I'm really disappointed. I mean, I'm glad I liked it, but I'm disappointed that no one else is. So I gave this a 3 and well, actually no, it wasn't 3.5. It was 3.75, and that might seem quite low, but I'm really strict with my ratings. I loved the mafia in this, and you know what? You know what? I'm just going to read my review because I loved it. This may be an uncommon opinion, but I really enjoyed the trope in this book. It was very much, it reminded me a lot of Beauty and the Beast, which I think is the point now thinking back at it, because it was mentioned in the book, like she was doing like a whole Beauty and the Beast ballet. So I think that was kind of the point. But I really enjoyed like the captivity side of it, which might make me sound a bit weird, but I enjoyed that. The romance didn't feel rushed, and the characters didn't lose their purpose as the story continued. A lot of the time in books, especially in The Brutal Prince, I noticed that at the beginning they were like proper like badass assassins and killers, and they were really like broody, you know. And then towards the end, they were so lovesick for each other that they kind of lost that purpose. They lost their character, and then they became like lovesick puppies. And I was like, well, good for you, but that's not really who you are. So throughout this, they didn't actually lose their purpose. The characters remained the same sort of as the beginning, and I like the consistency. I do like good consistency in a book. I actually found the mafia plot to be really entertaining, and it instantly gripped me and kept me hooked from the beginning, which very rare. Literally from like the first, second page, very rare for me, and I was really happy with that because obviously then I just kept reading. It wasn't a massive book anyway. I think it was like 298 pages. Oh, never mind, it was 311, but it wasn't massive, so I think it took me like 3 days to read. Oh my god, I'm covered in hair. Okay, so negative. However, at times I did find the plot to get slightly confusing. I noticed this in the first one as well. It became very hard to focus on what was actually going on at the time. I noticed that it kind of flip-flopped between like past and present sometimes. And the way it was curated, it wasn't very fluid. It was a bit jolty. It was hard. It was just really hard to follow what was happening. And then when we went back to present, I had to kind of reread and then, work it out. The writing felt a little sloppy at times. Like I was saying, there were times where it was like, okay, this was a little sloppy, but it kept me entertained. The characters were also very intriguing. So I think if you take any of the literal side of things out of it, like the sloppiness of the grammar, the writing, the fluidity of it, it's like hammering it down outside, by the way, and it's so cozy. It's so cozy. Yeah, if you took all that away, I think that is why I gave it 3.75, because it was entertaining. It was so entertaining that despite those things, I really, really enjoyed it. I just think if you were to go into it and those things do annoy you and that does affect how you feel about the book, then I did write that my review for those people. There are no spoilers in my reviews, by the way. If you want to go check them out on my Fable, it is all linked down below. I also post my reviews on Instagram, on my stories. I've got a little highlight on there. So if you want to go back and see some simple reviews or anything, then go check out my Instagram as well. But yeah, I gave a 3.75 to Stolen Air, and I'm very excited for the rest of the series now because of how much I'm enjoying that. Like, so far, they're getting better as they go along. Same with Leather and Lark at the minute. I've only got one left on this one. So I'm very excited to get to the rest of these. And I love dark romance. I have fallen into the trap. But I'm proud to say it. I'm very proud to say it. But speaking of, now I'm into the trap of dark romance and I'm loving it. I have The Tenant to read next. So it's not a dark romance, but it's a thriller and it's got dark themes, hopefully. So I'm hoping I'll enjoy this. So this book is 352 pages. That's a chunky one. I only have a few days to get through this, so hopefully It's good. I've liked all the Freedom McFadden books I've read so far, so I'm very excited. You know what? Let's just get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. Hello, so I have just finished The Tenant by Freedom McFadden. I feel like the minority here. I gave this a 2.75. Compared to her previous books, I actually wasn't so keen on this one. I will read my review for you, like the other ones. Compared to her previous books, The Tenant felt a little sloppy and somewhat cringe, unfortunately. The dialogue was too blatant, and the plot twist felt very long-winded, anticlimactic, and a bit extreme. So the dialogue was... It was cringe, it felt unrealistic, it felt rushed, it didn't feel quite thought through, it was really bizarre. The plot twist, yeah, it felt very long-winded, it felt very... what's the word? It felt like too out there. Like, there's no way that someone would go around doing that. Like, who has the time, who has the effort over one little thing? It just felt a bit silly for a Freedom McFadden book. The plot frustrated me, and unfortunately, I think Goldie was the best character in this book, unfortunately. And he's a fish. Oh my god. I really struggled with this one. I kind of felt bored, frustrated as the plot went along. I was really looking forward to reading this because I have just gotten into my Freedom McFadden era and I love her other books, and I wanted to try out some of her newer ones. But I think it felt like she's coming out with her book so quick that this was one of the ones that felt a little too rushed. I don't think it was carefully curated enough. The characters didn't feel that lovable. I don't know how to explain it, but the plot twist definitely felt too out there. It felt a bit too extreme, and the writing and dialogue felt a bit sloppy. So I was really disappointed. I think I read this in 3 days, so it was a very, very fast read, which I think was a good thing. Like all of her other books, I love a good fast-paced read, especially when I've got things going on. But yeah, it just didn't quite hit the spot like I thought it was going to. And I was reading through some of the reviews, and a lot of people also said the same thing about it feeling rushed. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one there, but I do also think I was kind of in the minority for thinking like this wasn't her best and it wasn't great. So in the end, I did give this a 2.75, which is quite low for all the other books that we have read in this video, which is a bit of a shame to end it on such a low one. But I think I've had a really good reading vlog. I think I've done pretty well. Let me go grab the other books that we have read in this video. So in total, we have read 3 books. We started with Leather and Lark, which I absolutely adored. I loved Leather and Lark. Would I give this again a 4 star? This is concerning. It was such a long time ago now. Okay, yeah, I gave this a 4 star. Trust my gut instinct. So I gave this a 4 star, which was my first read. This was a book that starts with a prologue, if I remember correctly, in my TBR prompt. Yes, it was. So that was a book that starts with a prologue. And then I read Stolen Air, which was my second one. I think this was an author whose last name begins with an L. And I gave this... almost threw my phone off the bed. Gave this a 3.75. I really enjoyed this a lot more than the first one as well. The characters were great and very fast read, very floppy. Loved that. So those were two dark romances, and then we had a thriller which unfortunately disappointed me, which is a shame because it was my last one. But we did have some two very good reads here, and I'm continuing the series in these as well. So those are my 3 reads in this video of my TBR cards. Pick my read for this week. Don't know why it took me so long to get out. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed filming this. I think I want to do more with my TBR cards, as this is my first time using them, and I think that was really fun to do. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That would really help, and do subscribe if you want to see more bookish content. And yeah, if you made it this far into this video, give me a little music note in the comment section if you made it this far, because I'd like to know how many people of you actually make it this far. I'm watching you. All my socials are linked down below: my Goodreads, my Instagram, and my Fable, so do go check those out when you are free. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!